Hi and welcome to today's TNT, whipping around Thailand, checking all the main news stories. Thursday already this week, and a whole lot of updates from stories that we've been reading about, some going all the way back to January. Let's start with this one. And this is from Bangkok Post, a story that's been floating around for the last week about a missing escapee in southern Thailand. Well, apparently he was cornered yesterday. And earlier in the day, we got these reports. Prisoner Siapang Nanot in shootout with police. And says he's been on the lam since October the 22nd. And the prisoner, his real name, Chawalit Tongduang, was involved in a shootout with police yesterday in his mountainous hideaway in Trang, where he's fled since his escape on October the 27th. And it says provincial police and national park rangers surrounded the Nai Trang village in the Bantad mountain range yesterday morning. And authorities believed he was hiding in the remote village of about 300 households. The mountain range covers 3 provinces in Patalung, Trang and Satun. Then later in the day, Thai PBS World confirmed breaking news: escaped convict killed by police. And the convict who escaped from a southern hospital on October the 22nd was killed, that's yesterday, during an exchange of fire with police. He was serving 21 years in prison on robbery and firearms charges, but he slipped out of a hospital after faking a faint. And acting on a tip-off, police surrounded a village on a mountain ridge where the shooting began. Once the gunfire stopped, police reportedly found the body of Chawalit in the village, according to Thai PBS News Service. So that particular story of a convict on the run come to a conclusion, reported by Thai PBS World and Bangkok Post. Now, some problems up in Bangkok. These two incidents are not necessarily related, but of course the media have joined the two. We'll start off with the second one first. And Nation Thailand reporting that Bangkok road collapse is under weight of a 10-wheeler in the second sinkhole accident this week. Pictures of various large vehicles disappearing into holes in Bangkok roads, of course, looks really bad on social media. And 2 people were hospitalised when concrete sheets covering the road at the entrance of Soi Sukhumvit 64 in Bangkok's Phra Khanong district collapsed under the weight of a 10-wheeler on Wednesday morning. And the sheets extending across 3 traffic lanes were placed to cover the part of the road that had been dug up for underground power line laying projects. Well, when they're reporting concrete sheets, so these are great big concrete blocks you can see on this video, almost, about 20 centimetres thick. So more than a sheet, they're just huge concrete blocks. Exactly how they collapsed under even the weight of a 10-wheeler truck, well, I suppose that will have to be figured out. And the driver of the truck, which was carrying soil from a construction site, that adds to a lot of weight, and ended up with its rear stuck in the hole, reportedly told police his vehicle had not exceeded the weight limit. The 2 injured, meanwhile, were motorcyclists who crashed when the road collapsed. This is the second accident to be caused by sinkholes on Bangkok roads this week. On Monday night, a Toyota Fortuner fell into a hole in the Ratchathani district. Well, yeah, that looks pretty dramatic. Apparently that hole was about 8 metres deep. So lucky more of the car didn't end up going down into that hole, or a motorcyclist, heaven forbid, would have ended up right down the bottom. And luckily, only the front half of the vehicle had fallen into the opening, and the SUV and its driver could be pulled out by a crane. Nobody was injured in that particular accident. So exactly how did that one happen? Well, police say the 1.5 metre wide, 6 metre long and 8 metre deep hole had been covered by a concrete sheet, which collapsed under the vehicle's weight. The hole is part of the city's project to construct underground cesspits leading to Makasan Swamp. And the video from the first story came from Amarin TV on their YouTube channel. Let's go to our next story now. And Nation Thailand crying fake news. Foreign Ministry confirms no Thai workers hired as mercenaries in Israel. So as has been reported, between 20 and 30,000 Thais still staying in Israel, and stories yesterday that some of them had been co-opted into the Israeli army to work as mercenaries. Well, apparently fake news. And in the statement, the ministry clarified that it had received a report from the Thai embassy in Tel Aviv which said that individuals with dual Thai-Israeli nationalities have been called in to serve as reserve soldiers for the Israeli army. These people are not Thai workers in any capacity, according to the embassy. In addition to workers in Israel's farming sector, there are some 500 Thai women who are married to Israeli citizens and have children with dual nationality. And Israeli law requires that all citizens, regardless of gender, serve in the military once they reach the age of 18. And apparently since the Hamas attack on October the 7th, the Israeli army has called up more than 350,000 reservists, or some 4% of the population. And the statement said it's understandable that some Israeli citizens of Thai descent may also have to fulfill their military duties. These individuals are not Thai workers covertly serving as mercenaries for Israel, as has been erroneously claimed. So confirmation there from the Thai embassy in Tel Aviv, some fake news circulating yesterday. And now yesterday was a good day for me as far as my, the short-term rental project next door, which is called the Bonneville Beach House. We had 4 bookings in just one day, which covered, I think, almost 3 weeks at various times next year. So if you are interested if you're coming to Turtle Beach and you'd like a sort of bespoke 2-bedroom, fully renovated beach house, well, there's a link in the description in this video. Now, next on TNT, a follow-up from a story that goes all the way back to January. This is the latest from ThaiPBSWorld.com. And former police get 5 years for demanding bribes from tourists. And 4 former police officers attached to Bangkok's Hoi Quang police station were sentenced to 5 years in prison yesterday by the Central Criminal Court for corruption and misconduct cases. They were found guilty of malfeasance in office and corruption for demanding bribes from 3 Taiwanese tourists in exchange for dropping charges. And the 4 were also ordered to return the 27,000 baht bribe to the tourists, and 2 other officers were acquitted by the court due to insufficient evidence. And the extortion, which took place on the night of January the 5th, ironically in front of the Chinese embassy, was widely reported in Taiwanese media because one of the tourists is an actress. Well, just a few comments about this case. Firstly, it probably wouldn't have even seen the light of day unless she was a well-known blogger, TikToker, or in this case, a Taiwanese actress. And secondly, the police who were caught bribing tourists, they weren't the first, they certainly won't be the last. They were probably a bit unlucky that they got stuck in this case with a well-known Taiwanese actress. Let's go back to the story at the time. And NationThailand.com, Taiwanese actress alleges Thai police extorted cash from her and her friends. And this is the way the story was reported at the time. And she said police detained them for 2 hours and forced them to pay 27,000 baht to be released after stopping their taxi at a checkpoint on the night of January the 4th. And the actress, also known as Charlene Ann, warned Taiwanese visitors to Thailand to avoid carrying large amounts of cash in their wallets for an unusual reason. And she said, "I would like to ask Taiwanese people who plan to go to Thailand to avoid carrying too much cash, as the police will check their wallets first before charging them." And police told her that her visa was not valid, even though she had received one on arrival. And police told her and her friends to delete a video clip they took of the incident. And she said it was like being searched for drugs by police in a Mexican film. And she said police escorted her and her friends away from the checkpoint to a spot where there was no CCTV camera and told them they had to pay a total of 27,000 baht. And she said she also saw a group of 5 Korean women in the same CCTV-free spot, and the actress will never visit Thailand again. Well, it was well announced on her Instagram page at the time, much fuss being made about it, hence the loss of face, and hence the sword coming down on those 4 police who are going to be spending the next 5 years breaking big rocks into little rocks. And a big thanks to our long-term sponsor, 5-Star Marine. Here's the website, 5starmarinephuket.com. If you're looking for a bespoke charter tour out of the island of Phuket, I can heartily recommend Sean and the team at 5-Star Marine. There's even a link in the description below for TNT viewers. As we head off to this story, and it's reported in the patianews.com, tuk-tuk driver arrested for allegedly assaulting British and Indian tourists in Bangkok. And there he is doing some very skilled Thai pointing apparently at his tuk-tuk. And it says on November the 7th, Lumpini police officers captured a tuk-tuk driver who allegedly hit British and Indian tourists with a steel wrench. And it happened in Pathum 1, Bangkok. And it says an investigation with the local CCTV identified the man, and he reportedly confessed his wrongdoings, that he committed physical assault by hitting both foreign tourists in the head with a steel wrench, because they could not agree on a fare and there was a language barrier. And he allegedly claimed that the tourist attempted to hurt him and his actions were in self-defence. He then reportedly grabbed the steel wrench kept in his tuk-tuk and hit them before fleeing away. Initially, the Lumpini inquiry officers conducted further investigation and took hold of Attapond for legal proceedings. The two victims' names have been withheld for their privacy. And good to see he's a well-prepared tuk-tuk driver, got a great big steel wrench, because, the tuk-tuk could break down at any time, of course. And we go to this story, and it's reported by golfnews.com. I think it's a reprint from an AFP story. And in their lifestyle section, TikTok transforms elephant print pants into Thai fashion craze. Try saying that 3 times fast. Do you have a pair of elephant print pants, the baggy pants, or perhaps an elephant print shirt? I'll have to admit that I don't, but plenty of people do. And like these two tourists filmed up in Chiang Mai as part of the AFP story. And an elegant Thai socialite poses in sunglasses, a designer handbag, discreetly visible in the Instagram photo, her stylish outfit completed by a pair of elephant print pants. And it says infamous across Southeast Asia, the so-called elephant pants made of thin, baggy cotton were once synonymous with grubby backpackers in search of themselves. And the pachyderm pants were adopted by foreigners during an early wave of budget Southeast Asia travel as visitors sought to appropriate authentic culture, despite there being little truly Thai about them. While they're still sold from stalls alongside Bangkok's tourist haven Khao San Road for about 150 baht, young Thai influencers and the kingdom's high society are increasingly reclaiming them. According to an influencer called Mo Rich, the pants are dope. They're not just souvenirs foreign tourists buy, Thais are rocking them too. It's like a fashion statement with a teen street fashion vibe, said the 19-year-old. A half-hour drive away is Jack's factory, where rolls and rolls of pachyderm-inspired prints are measured, sliced and stitched. And they've got about 100 workers producing 1,000 to 2,000 items every single day. And an online debate brought local reporters to her door after some Cambodians claimed Thailand had appropriated the elephant print. But an associate professor at the Northern Illinois University Center for Southeast Asian Studies says ultimately little about the pants are Thai. Their adoption by foreigners attempting to stake a claim on authentic experiences instead meant Thai viewed them as international. She says, I see the elephant pants as the latest way that young rich Thais or aspiring middle-class Thais align their identity with Westerners. What's one way of looking at it, but interesting to see young Thais wearing them to appear more Western. Did you pay 150 baht for your pair of elephant pants, or probably a whole lot more? I've never owned a pair, but I think they could be actually very comfortable as pyjamas because they're made of, very light cotton. But that's all we've got for today's stories from around Thailand. Please subscribe to the channel, that always helps. But we hope you have a great Thursday for the rest of the day. We look forward to seeing you again tomorrow.